Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Spiritual Politics. I'm your host, Noble and Pooh. I know it's been a little minute, but sorry about that. Been a little busy. Been out in the field, man. Dealing with my portfolio of properties. I am absolutely the asset manager, not property manager, asset manager. And dealing with my real estate and whatnot. So this had me a little busy for sure. But look, today I want to talk about three things. All right, three important things. One is going to be the Biden mortgage punishment, because that's what it is. Two is going to be the interest rates just went up, and three, how that trickles down into real estate. Very important to understand this, because see, real estate is it's been said to have been or is the number one wealth creator, period. Now, I can tell you from my own experience in a couple years that I've become a millionaire dealing with real estate. On paper, assets is literally million. So if I sell that, I could have that. But when I pay the tax obligation on it, say I'm gonna cash out and then have to go buy property today when the prices are way higher now, do it make sense to do that? No. All right. So assets is what it's about. Most importantly, real estate is that vehicle that will allow you to transfer the wealth. Very important to have, man. Very important to have. I often have this conversation with my brother, Minister Jew. I also had this conversation with my son, telling him the problem about if you can overcome your rent or your mortgage and live somewhere mortgage free or rent free. Oftentimes that is the biggest deduction that comes out of your paycheck, right? When you have to pay that bill and whatnot. If you can get around that at an early age, you're about to set yourself on a path to really save some money and invest that money and win if we can avoid that pitfall of those average bills and whatnot. And so real estate has been a tremendous vehicle in helping us do that. All right. So let's get to the topic at hand. The Biden mortgage crisis. This is a disaster and whatnot. In fact, let's play this clip.
Biden's new rule for homeowners that's going to affect tomorrow is all about equity.
We need to make equity and justice part of what we do every day.
The Biden-Harris administration has made racial equity a centerpiece of our economic agenda.
So, you will see that they race baiting. Just got to call it for what it is. If it's about racial equity, then the only thing you have to do is say, let's just say black people and Hispanic people are at a disadvantage and you want racial equity. Then that should mean all black people and Hispanic people should receive a 1% discount when it comes to today's mortgage rates. Period. It goes for all black people and all Hispanic people if these are the disadvantaged people. End of discussion. It's not about that because, well, let's roll this clip.
If you have a 620 FICO score, that's like a fair score, you get a 1.75% fee discount. But if you're at 740, which is a very good FICO score, then you're paying a 1% fee.
So if you got a 620, you get the discount. But if you 740 or higher, you get penalized. There's black and Hispanic people that are 740 and higher, so why should we get penalized? How does that solve the racial equity problem when we have good credit, but now we about to be penalized? See, they play these games, and I hope in the edit we can put, the Democrat was the Ku Klux Klan party, which it was. They play these racial games with us to rouse us up to get us voting Democrat. Now, I can't tell you who to vote for, but I'm gonna tell you who to vote for. And you need to vote for Donald Trump. You need to vote for a president who understands business, because all of this is about business. In fact, let's talk about the interest rates here.
And here at home, the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates for the 10th time in a row. The quarter-point hike comes just 2 days after the collapse of First Republic Bank. The latest reports show inflation is cooling a bit, but growth slowed in the first 3 months of the year. Business reporter Alexis Christophorus is here to break it down for us. Alexis, what does this new rate hike mean for people with credit card debt?
The news is not good. If you have a balance on your credit card every month, you are going to be paying more. So rates on credit cards were already at a record high before yesterday's Fed meeting. So now the average rate on a credit card is going to be about 20.5%. So you should see that change happen in the next 1 or 2 billing cycles. Of course, if you pay off your credit card balance at the end of each month, you don't need to worry about higher rates. And you should know that if you're perceived as a riskier borrower, rates on credit cards for you could go up even higher. In addition to credit cards, it's the same story. We're going to see rates go higher on auto loans, personal loans, home equity loans. Mortgage rates are not directly tied to what the Fed does. They more look at what's happening with inflation and the economy. So ironically, if the economy continues to slow and inflation continues to come down, mortgage rates might actually tick lower in the weeks ahead.
So as you see, the interest rates just went up for the 10th consecutive time. As you see, it is said that if you got credit card debt, you're about to start seeing that on your next 2 monthly statements that come out. You're about to be paying more money. So in other words, for real, if you paying the minimum, you ain't chipping down nothing at that principal of what you owe. You throwing money away and it's just interest. All right. So you got to be real careful here because now this is about to hit you in the pockets. All right. And which segues into when we understand the interest rate, although you may have heard her mention that, mortgage rates could go down and it could, but this interest rate hike doesn't affect mortgages. That's not true at all. See, the Fed rate right now has moved from 5% to 5.25. Okay. And that's what the banks charge each other to loan money to each other. But what the banks charge us, businesses and individuals, is usually goes off something called the Wall Street Prime. The Wall Street Prime rate is exactly on average 3 points higher than the Fed rate. So if the Fed rate is now at 5.25, Prime is now at 8.25. Here's the kicker though. The banks have left a big void in the financial system of the world because there's too much paperwork involved, W-2 statements, past income, 24 months, and it's tedious. It's a long process getting a loan. It's very long and arduous. Where now there's something called hard money lenders, which are private companies who got bankrolls, individual people who fund these things, who are looking to invest their money. Hard money lender says, listen, I don't care about your W-2s. Your credit score is just going to show us what rate we can give you. You do have to have a minimum of average of a 640 before we do business with you. But if you got a 640, we're going to give you the lowest rate. If you got a 700, 720, we give you a better rate. And this rate is Wall Street Prime. Let's say you got a sucky credit score. So you're going to say, we're going to charge you Wall Street Prime plus 3. Well, if you on this credit score as it go up, well, it's going to be Wall Street Prime plus 1. You see what I'm saying? Now, are these high interest rates? Of course, they're higher interest rate, but they can perform way faster than the bank can. Don't care about your W-2 history. This is game I'm giving you. They don't care about your W-2 history, and it don't show up on your credit report. In fact, they do what's called a non-recourse asset-based type of lending. Non-recourse meaning if you don't pay the loan, then they're not going to put it on your credit report because they're only loaning you the money based off the asset. So let's say you want to flip a house. You go to a hard money lender. They say, hey, this is the money that we're going to give you for this particular house for you to do this particular project. Here's the money down that you need to put in the game and put some skin in the game. And let's do this deal together. You default on that. They just take the house. It don't show up on your credit report. Non-recourse. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas the bank will be on your credit report. And plus, when it comes to investment properties, they move entirely different and slow. And so there's a big void that's there in the financial sector that hard money lenders started filling that particular void. People such as Lima One, I don't have no endorsement with Lima One, but I do business with Lima One. It's amazing when you get a phone call from an institution that's handling millions of dollars calling you and saying, hey, what you got, man? What's up? We want to do a deal. Why are they calling me? Because I let them refinance 2 of my properties that I bought cash free. I put a small loan against those properties, took that equity and went to go buy 2 more houses that are now free and clear. Ooh wee. See, that's game. And so they're calling me now. So now the millions of dollars start to call you once you start doing this thing. This is why it's important to get into the real estate portion of this thing because it's real. It's very real like that, very tangible. And I always say that, the bank will give you a loan on real estate, but they won't give you a loan on their own stock. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling you don't mess with stocks. I'm not saying that. It's just a perspective on how to, play both sides of the ledger and understand why real estate is really real like that. Okay. And so anyway, so the interest rates are going up, in return, the mortgage rates will absolutely go up, especially for the investor. Without a shadow of a doubt, the investors, we're going to feel that. We're going to feel that burn. All right. And so, solution to that, man, is it's still money to be made. You got to get you a great deal, and how to find those deals is a whole nother conversation and whatnot. But it's ways you can make money in this thing clearly. And I want to say this too. There's two schools of thoughts out here when it comes to money. There's more of the Dave Ramsey style where it's about no debt, and nothing's wrong with that. When you don't have no debt, no loans, things of that nature, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You receive all of the cash flow. All of the cash flow is all yours. You don't owe nobody anything. So you get all of the money. Well, there's people like Grant Cardone. It's the other school of thought that's like, bump all that. I have to raise the money. I don't have 100,000. I don't have $1 million. I don't have 5 million, 10 million to buy these buildings, nor just this one house or my first duplex or whatever. So I have to take a loan out. And so when you understand when you're playing with OPM, other people's money, it can be very lucrative, very, very, very lucrative. Okay. And that could be, something in simple math terms, something costs $1 million. The bank say, hey, just give me 10%. And you put up 100,000, they're gonna front the other 900,000, and now you making money and whatnot. And you just pay them the note, right? So you can make money doing this. So it really totally depends on your strategy. One thing that I have, I created an asset. I had acquired a property, remodeled the property, put a tenant in the property. And that property, I said, I am going to go get the truck that I want. And I wanted the Dodge Ram Sport, the Sport Edition. So that's the truck I want. That's the truck I walked in, zero down, right? No money out my pocket. And the tenant pays the monthly. And now anything that's left over goes into my pocket. And now the tenant's going to be paying that for the next couple years, whether it be one tenant or whether I have three tenants within the duration of this contract for the truck. Don't matter to me because people always need a place to stay. So that house is going to pay for that. And then when that house pays for that, guess what? When it's done, now that money comes into my pocket. I can also play another way where I can say, you know what, that house is technically free and clear. I can go call up Lima One or, a lender and say, hey, give me a refinance on that property. And they say, okay, well, you're going to owe me an extra $300 or $400 a month. Okay, no problem. But let's just hypothetically say they give me $80,000 or $100,000 on this particular property. I can take that and go buy another property. You see what I'm saying? And since I owe them $300 a month, 3 bedrooms where I'm at easily is renting for over $1,000 a month and whatnot. Let's just say I walk with $600 if I want to play that in that particular class of property and whatnot. But I'm playing with somebody else's money and somebody else is paying it for me. I don't even have no skin in the game. You see what I'm saying? So it totally depends on what your strategy is and what your temperament is and what best suits you. There is no necessarily Dave Ramsey is wrong and Grant Cardone is right. It depends on your temperament and your style and what you prefer. You know what I'm saying? Would you prefer to get 10% of a deal and whatnot, and 90% is going to your other partners or to somebody else to put up all the money and whatnot, or would you prefer not to have anything because you don't got no money to get in the game? And you got to figure out how you can get up the whole thing so you don't have no partners. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it totally depends. So you got to be careful when you hear this information and understand your temperament and what you have access to, friends, family, 401ks, things of that nature, and which you can do for yourself. Okay. Very important to understand that. I'm going to have a Patreon private conversation tomorrow inside of my Patreon, and people that's inside of my group. Listen, I have over 50 families that I literally partner with. All right, individuals who I showed the structure to, and this is what we do. And why I'm telling you this is very important because there's a lot of people out here who's fucking up the game. I'll be honest with you, they're fucking up the game, right? And in that process of them fucking up the game, I just want you to rest assured that you can invest with somebody or better word, you can partner with someone, not investing. You can partner with someone, and you can do your thing. And what I would love to see is for you to understand this information and duplicate it and do it within your circle and do it within your sphere of influence. It don't necessarily have to be with me and whatnot. I just want this to, I desperately want to break the spell of this so-called poverty thing that's going on. And it can easily, and I mean easily be done. You just have to dedicate some time into doing it. Okay. And so there's an opportunity tomorrow where I have another rental property. And I'm going to bring my partners in on this property if they want it, because I already bought it. I pulled out a refi on the property, went, I'll show you how I made money twice. I'm going to make money twice. A guy want to sell me his property. He done sold me like 6 of them already. So I buy it. No, I get it in contract to buy it. I was going to wholesale it. And then my wholesale business was going to make some money off of it. So say we got it in the contract for 65. I can make, he don't never, this dude, because the properties are in great condition, but they still need paint and the floors need to be updated because a tenant just moved out. It ain't a super discount, but it's a discount, right? And so I can probably squeeze about $3,000 to $5,000 in this if I give it to another investor called wholesale. So I don't have to pay the $65,000. I agree that in 30 days I'm going to find someone that's going to pay you the $65,000, but they're going to pay me 68 for putting the play together. Okay. And so I'll make $3,000 off of it. Well, I knew this was a good deal for me, and you don't find rental properties this cheap. Okay. And so I decided that I'll buy it. My rental business is going to pay 68,000 for it, which means my wholesale business and my two partners in that business is going to receive a check, and I'm going to receive a check too. So I'll receive my portion of the $3,000 fee. My two partners will receive a portion of the $3,000 fee. And now my rental business owns it. So I ate on the wholesale side of it, and I'm going to eat off the rental side of it. So tomorrow's conversation is going to be, hey, I got another one. Only thing we got to do is paint and do the floors and put some appliances in there and add central air, and we out of there, and we gonna rent this thing, right? I'm not flipping it. I like cash flow. I had to reformat my mind many years ago to cash flow. All right, and it really wasn't many years ago. It was just a couple years ago I had to do that. I had to understand the model and what that was, what that was, and say, okay, cool, I get it. Let's do it. And it has been tremendously great once I understood it and applied it. And so anyway, see, there's one thing to talk the game and give people information, which is great. But how many people really gonna put you on? Put you on. When I say put you on, I'm talking about, hey, here's a deal. In fact, I'm gonna show you a testimonial. Here's a deal where it's my deal. I can take it down by myself, but I'm actually going to bring you in on this because I know this is what you're trying to do. I can have all of the cash flow by myself, but I'm going to bring you in on it. I bring you in on it. Whatever money I don't spend, which I'm saving now, I'll use my mind and I'll go get another deal. It's no problem. I'll bring you in on it. And that's what you're about to see a testimonial on. So I'm telling y'all this, new people. It's okay to trust there's people out here that's really doing the work and whatnot. And I got over 50 families. You're going to see 3 people, but I'm going to show you one. I got over 50 families that can come and testify and show you that, hey, he taught me how to structure and we've done business together and we went in on some deals and we get money every single month. All right. Now, before I show you this testimony, I need you to do me one favor for me. Click the like button, subscribe, hit that notification button. That way you can be notified. It's very important. You can be notified to when we upload content or go live. You can join in on the process. Share this information with a friend. Enjoy this testimonial and visit the Patreon. I'd love to see you inside of there so you can start putting your family on the correct path. All right. Peace. But talk a little bit about, what your situation was and why you did it.
Okay, so exactly like you laid it out. I don't want to replay it, but I was no longer working at that organization, so I wasn't contributing, and we were doing the numbers. You just kind of you helped me with the math, and it made sense. And I think it's a big part of what you said. It's about love and it's about relationship and it's about the longer vision, because you did explain that essentially bringing me in, you showed me how that positioned you out and moved me in, but then set us up for, different plays. And I think when we got next door, that was pretty cool,
Right.
when that was able to happen. But I think the biggest thing is a lot of times we're scared. I was somebody who went to college, graduated college, you put your money in retirement, you keep it there. And even though I had left the job, I had been scared to touch it. So that whole self-directed IRA and IRA, that you kind of walked me through that. We found a great place to do it. And it really, after that, it really was quite simple. We had a contract. They were kind of like, you could write it on a napkin for all we care.
Right
And
there, right
that's
there.
and Ampu, as you all know, he's fast moving, right? Success moves fast. And I am more slow. I am a processor.
Right.
I am not like Jew, right? They say one thing and it's up, it's posted, it's done. And so that was really something for me to, it wasn't, it just was, it was so foreign to me because I had not had that language, hadn't had that experience. But it's been very comforting. And I don't even tell a lot of people because like you said, people hear it and they think, oh, well, you gave your money to someone. How could you trust it? What are you doing? You don't really know these people. But it's just been, for me, it's been peace of mind and it's been a really, really good investment.